Hey everyone, and welcome to the ATA podcast. I'm Matt Baird.
And I'm Andy Ho. This podcast is brought to you by the American Translators Association. Each month, we bring you news and insights from ATA. We look at what's happening across the association, explore the benefits of membership, and discuss the translation and interpreting professions.
That's right. You know, the T&I industry is always changing, and we hope this podcast will help you keep up with it. ATA was founded over 60 years ago to advance the translation and interpreting professions and foster the professional development of individual translators and interpreters. We have nearly 9,000 members in more than 100 countries.
If you'd like to know more about ATA, we'll have some information for you at the end of the show. And you'll also find links in the notes.
All right, let's get started with a few quick announcements.
Hey translators and interpreters, have you taken a look at the ATA Compass recently? ATA's blog for translation and interpreter buyers is now publishing new content. The Compass targets people wanting to learn more about the work and services of language professionals. These SEO-optimized articles are designed to drive more traffic to ATA's website and the language services directory where potential buyers can find ATA members. Check them out and use them for your own marketing activities. Also, are you a fan of ATA's two other blogs, The Savvy Newcomer and Next Level? If not, you should be. Both blogs are releasing regular content on the T&I business, giving you reliable advice to help you run your business. Straight from translators and interpreters like you who are making T&I work. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just getting started, you're sure to find answers to the many questions we all face. And finally, a message for ATA members. ATA sends out news via email on a regular basis. Everything from division and conference updates to bi-weekly news briefs and the latest issue of the ATA Chronicle. Don't miss out on these important announcements. Add ATA email addresses to your address book or whitelist, also known as Safe Sender or Allow List, so they don't end up in spam. That way, you'll be sure to stay connected with your association. For information about these announcements and more, check out the links in today's show notes.
Welcome to the ATA podcast. I am your host, Andy Ho, and today we have a very exciting topic, a brand new event for ATA. And here to talk about it is Andy Benzo and Robert Sett. We got a twofer today. Andy Benzo, if you've never heard of her, I don't know where you've been. She's a lawyer and translator from her native Argentina. She's been a member of the ATA Board of Directors and is ATA certified. She is a member of the ATA Board of Directors, currently. Andy's been doing legal translations for more than 30 years and is a regular speaker at national and international conferences on legal translation topics. Robert Sett is a member of ATA's Board of Directors as well, and also the president of ATA's Colorado chapter. He has been an ATA member for over 30 years and translates from, I have to take a deep breath here, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, Catalan into English. He covers all the bases. So welcome, Andy. Welcome, Robert. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Andy, for having us. We're very excited about this conference and talk to you about it.
Okay, so Andy has let the cat out of the bag. ATA is hosting a virtual conference this May. It's a new thing. I'll let them tell you about it. Okay, basics first. Can you guys tell me when, where, what this virtual conference is all about?
This is a one-day online virtual conference. It is taking place on Saturday, May 20th. From 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All times are Eastern. And the theme is Translating and Interpreting the Future, Empowering Professionals to Innovate and Thrive. What we are doing with this conference is trying to provide real practical sessions to learn how MT and AI are evolving and to see how our colleagues are incorporating these technologies into their professional lives. And we want to make clear the target audience for this conference is translators and interpreters. We're not going to be talking in the ephemeral universe. We're talking practical tips, practical advice on how to survive and thrive in this landscape. And we want the conversation to be about MT and AI and learning how to adapt to this really evolving reality, a quickly evolving reality that changes from week to week even.
Yes, and we want to make sure that everybody knows that all sessions will be recorded. And we hope that all going to be there because it's going to be interaction with the speakers and stuff, and they're going to be town hall, but you can see them later. You can watch them later and take every single second out. Because everybody has obligations or other commitments. So all sessions will be recorded, and they're going to be all you can access them at the ATA website later.
Okay. So my immediate question when I heard about this virtual conference was, we have the annual ATA conference. So how is this different? What is this all about?
Well, this is completely different. This is the virtual conference. First of all, it's virtual, so everybody in the world can attend. And that is, at this time, it's very practical because it's just one day. And it's a very specific topic. It has nothing to do with the annual conference. You're still going to meet a lot of people, going to meet a lot of translators and interpreters, because we're going to have networking and a town hall and all that. But the annual conference is about all the languages, all the topics. This is about a specific topic, which is in the future of translation and interpreting in the landscape of machine translation, artificial intelligence, and all that. So we hope that we're going to have many of these, but this is a very distinct, very one day, one topic conference from ATA.
Okay. So what made ATA choose to organize an online conference?
Yeah, during the COVID pandemic, we really saw that people were hungry for more opportunities for practical education. And we also saw that if you remember that first fully virtual conference that we did in 2020, there were a lot of attendees from all over the world, and many people who had come to an ATA conference, although they hadn't traveled, but who were attending and participating in an ATA conference for the first time. And we saw that this is part of the mission of ATA, to reach out and to provide many different educational opportunities for our members and for other translators and interpreters. So this is an opportunity for all of us to gather together without having to travel and incur the cost of a hotel, and to still have opportunities to learn and network. And in particular, international attendees will be able to get a taste of an ATA conference, and maybe this will whet their appetite to attend a future conference in person, maybe even ATA 64 in Miami this October. There's a little plug for our main event later in the year.
Yeah, but if I may say so, the thing about ATA is that at some point when you start coming to the conferences, the annual conferences, you start seeing the people over and over again, and they become your family. So every time that we go to an ATA conference, and I've been saying this in all videos I've ever recorded, it's like, Disney for us, because you go see all your friends from all over the world and talk about topics that you love. So ATA annual conference is phenomenal, and we know we're going to be in Miami, and we hope to see all of you attendees in Miami, all podcasters in Miami in October. But it's a very intense experience. It's phenomenal, and we try to have a little bit of a day just to a taste, so we get to come to Miami with us.
Okay, so this is meant to be a bonus, or sort of fill a gap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. So question here, you said the theme is AI. Is this an AI conference, or is this a conference and the theme this year is AI?
Boy, those are. Should we parse the words of that sentence? we're all language aficionados here, but no. The way I'd like to think of it, and what we've tried to bring together in establishing the program is, we want this to be practical. We want it to be, sure, we'll talk about ChatGPT, but we'll talk about how it's applicable to us as translators and interpreters, to how we can ask ChatGPT to create a passage that is in the style that we want to write in for our particular translation that we're doing in Spanish or in English or in Romanian, whatever language. I don't know if ChatGPT does Romanian, but just for example, we'll find out at the conference maybe. And so we want it to be practical. We want to deal with the practice of translation and incorporating MT and AI, and how that affects our professional work. And it's not going to be pie in the sky theory of machine translation, except as it relates to implementing it.
Okay. So what sets this event apart from other machine translation or AI or gala conferences that are being offered online these days? Because spoiler alert, my husband is in the other room right now attending an AI conference. So what's the difference between that and what you guys are offering this year?
Well, this is for, sorry, Robert, you
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Andy, no, ladies first, please.
It's offered for and by translators and interpreters for and by translators and to translators. So this is us in the trenches, in the field, all of us talking about, because we need to have this talk. ATA has to be part of this. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT and AI and machine translation and all that. So how come we are not talking about it? We have to talk, but from the perspective of translators and interpreters. How can we incorporate that?
And another thing that I think sets it apart is, after having the keynote and 3 other educational sessions, we're ending the day with a virtual town hall that is going to be facilitated. It's going to be phenomenal. Yes, of course, because it's an ATA event. So of course it's going to be phenomenal. But more specifically, it's going to be facilitated by ATA translators and interpreters. The panel is going to be made up of 4 or 5 people who are ATA members, who are working and adapting to this new reality. And the great thing is, the attendees, will get a chance to ask questions. You can ask questions of the panelists, and they're one of the speakers is going to be a panelist there, and then the others will be other ATA members, as I said, who are working in this field and who are thriving. So that's, come prepared with your questions, and that's an opportunity that you don't really have at the average AI conference. It's not geared towards translators, and certainly is not geared towards us asking questions and talking about how we're adapting.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. You get to have a direct interaction with people at the top of the field to ask them.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
That's what we thought.
Access.
It should
Access.
be around. Right, yeah, you should talk, and we have all the concerns we have, because the conversation is like, oh, we're gonna be gone. No, nothing like that. And any question you have, you can come to the town hall and ask, because this is what it is, helping each other.
Okay, so speaking of interactions, Andy, you put your finger on it about the ATA traditional annual conference. It is like a big family. It is like a big family reunion every year, one that I actually like going to.
Absolutely, yes. That we look forward
to. No black sheep cousins coming to
the. But so will there be interaction at the virtual conference as well? Any sort of networking?
Of course,
or,
you know me. It has to be interaction. It has to be personal. We're gonna have 3 networking sessions, not 1, not 2, but 3. 1 first in the morning, and then during the lunch break, we're gonna have a social part, and then we're gonna have a tool supported. The sponsors are gonna have special rooms that you can go and talk to the sponsors, like cat tool sponsors, and any question you have for an hour. Every sponsor is going to have a room each, and then you can chat with them and all the technology and how the technology incorporates this MT and AI. And then we're going to have another happy hour networking after the town hall, just to chat and see, what we've learned from this. And the thing is, everybody lives in their own computer, right? Especially translators. Interpreters, they interact a little bit more, but translators, we are in the computer, and we love to get together and discuss it, because it's not easy sometimes to talk to your family about, the importance of a comma, for example.
Amen to that.
I frequently talk at my husband about translation.
Right. Correct.
Suffers it.
And I think what's important to highlight here is, if you're on the East Coast and you have Saturday evening plans, you have to get dinner for the family, you can join the early morning networking session, which isn't going to be that early for you on the East Coast, and you can skip the afternoon one. And if you're on the West Coast and not a morning person on a Saturday, well, you can get up just in time for the keynote and the welcome presentation, and you can join the happy hour networking at the end of the day, which would be a bit of an early happy hour for you in Pacific time. So, and if you're in Europe, you can, like I said, you can forget about the last happy hour networking and join the first one in the morning. And then of course the lunchtime one is open to they're all open to everybody, but the lunchtime one, will be
The social
right in the
part,
middle
right?
of the conference. Yeah. So we hope that many people will attend that, and that will be the main one. So, but there's an option for everybody, and we can do that since it's a virtual conference and cater to your time frame wherever you're at.
And also because this is a practice, the translators and interpreters, we learn from each other. We learn all the time, tips and things. And so this is another opportunity to get together and learn from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, Robert, you mentioned the keynote. So who will be speaking at this conference? What are the sessions going to be like?
Yeah, the keynote, which happens at 11 a.m. East Coast time, 11 a.m. Eastern, is going to be given by someone well known to many of us in ATA, Jay Marciano. He's the president of the Association for Machine Translation in the Americas, and the title of his keynote, which I think is really great, it kind of flows off the tongue. It's AI, NMT, Chat GPT, and Little Old Me. And the subtitle is How AI Will Continue to Change Our Industry and Your Work. And I think this will be a great overview from someone who has a great longstanding history in the AI field and in the translation field. And it will be great to hear from him and hear his presentation that is custom prepared for us and for this virtual conference. We're very fortunate to have Jay be willing to attend and give us this keynote. And then, if I may, I'll speak about one of the other presentations. That's Jonathan Downey. He is an interpreter from Scotland, and he will be speaking on finding value in human interpreting and translation when machines are so good. And I think this is a really relevant topic because we need to learn how to promote ourselves, how to see our self-worth and convey that self-worth to our clients and to the public when machines are so good. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily say so good, but they're better than they were 20 years ago, certainly. And it's this is something we have to learn what our value added is, both for our own ego and for our own self-confidence, I think, but also as a tool to communicate that to our clients. It's very important.
Yes, and then we have the third speaker is Matthew Schlecht, that he did a presentation last year in LA, and it was phenomenal. And he's going to talk about a report from MTPE Trenches, the newest take on the world's oldest profession. So he works with as a post-edited translator, after machine translator, and he's going to tell us how he does it. He is very happy with that. I attended his presentation at ATA by chance because there's so much choice in the annual conference, and this is phenomenal. So he's going to tell all the tricks and tips on how to do that, and all the pitfalls that you encounter when you do MTPE. And then, last but not least, we're going to have Yuri Balashov, and he's going to talk about the scenario for individual translators implementing MT, a practical toolkit, and he's going to talk about large language models. And he's going to talk about AI, and all of this is for translators and interpreters by translators and interpreters. That's the main thing about this conference. People who are doing this are going to tell us, okay, this is what I do, this is what I think is important, and so we're going to learn a lot, definitely.
Excellent. It seems very well-rounded and well thought out. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the planning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did a good job.
So, a lot of people.
I'm sorry, but let's not forget that then after hearing all this all day, then we have the virtual town hall, which we already talked about. But that is when you come with all your questions to people who are another set of people. Or, well, Matthew's going to stay, but who are going to talk about their experience, and you can ask questions. And that's it. Like Robert said before, that's something that's not easy in conference, that you have the time to ask a question and hear what they think about what you think. So I think it's very important. And it's, we're very, very happy to have all the people that they agreed to speak here and bring all the knowledge to the ATA attendees, ATA members and non-members.
So in the end, what do you want attendees to take away from this event? What is the ultimate goal?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really think we want attendees to come away with practical ways, the ideas about practical ways that they can innovate and adapt and thrive in this new reality that we're facing. And again, to learn from others, to learn from people who are blazing the trail, so to speak. I think that's important, and I think that's what people will that will be the big takeaway for most attendees. Some practical things they can implement in their own workflow every day to innovate and keep up with technology.
And also, I think that to leave the fear that we're going to be replaced, we're not going to be replaced. It's not there yet. That not either the best models of machine translation. We are not going to be replaced yet, but we have to incorporate. We have to change, and interpreters and translators have changed a lot in the profession, in how I studied a long time ago, with the incorporation of CAD tools and the incorporation of this. So we are not afraid to incorporate new things and new technology to help us stay relevant.
All right. At the risk of putting the cart before the horse, is this going to be an annual thing going forward?
Well, we certainly hope so. Yeah. Robert, you go.
Go ahead, Andy. No, Andy, please go ahead.
No, it's just that we think that every year we should have a conference online about a very relevant topic at that moment. This year, you cannot escape. I mean, you even open the newspaper every day or read the newspaper in the iPad, and everything is about MT, AI, and the incorporation of that. And so this year is this topic. But I think that we believe that a virtual conference would be phenomenal about one specific topic that people can go and delve in depth into that. So we hope it's an annual event.
All right. One last time to reiterate. Again, dates, times, how much does it cost? Where can people register?
Yeah. So again, Saturday, May 20th from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Again, May 20th, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And the cost is $99 for ATA members. For guests, it will be $139. So bring your friends along, even if they're not ATA members, or better yet, encourage them to join ATA, and they'll get $40 off the registration price. Registration is open now on the ATA website. I'm not going to read a big long URL to you, because I have to say hyphen.com/this and that. But if you go to the ATA events calendar, it will be in there. You'll see it under May 20th, and you can go click through, get some more information, and then you can click through and register as well. And we really encourage everyone to attend. Again, remember, you can have attend 2 or 3 sessions and catch up on the others via the recording, and drop in for the networking. You can come and go as you choose. You can even be in your pajamas or your sweatpants. You don't have to turn your video camera on necessarily, although we love to see everyone's smiling faces. But again, being a virtual conference, we're all used to that, and it gives us the flexibility to be able to attend the conference and learn from it, even if we can't be fully present that day. But I encourage everyone to register and look at the program and see what great offerings we have for you.
Excellent. Final question that I ask all interviewees. Is there anything else that you'd like listeners to know? And I'm going to start with Andy, solely because I am biased towards the name Andy.
Good. Well, I think this is such a relevant topic in our profession right now and in society, because you cannot escape talking about it or hearing about it all day long. So we cannot afford not to be in the conversation. And it's important to us to learn everything we can, to adapt, to adopt and adapt and evolve. That's my motto, adopt, adapt, and evolve. And then I'm going to quote something that Jay Marciano said, which is true to me. And he said, machines will not take our jobs. But if we don't work with machines, then we are going to lose our jobs to the people who do work with machines. And so I think that it's just, instead of being scared or afraid of the future, we have to empower ourselves and say, okay, how can I incorporate this in my profession and move on? I think, and like any conference, I love seeing people. I love talking to people, because that's what makes us, real, and it feeds our soul, not only our brain, but feeds our soul, seeing friends and talking about it and share the pilgrimage that we have in life.
That was very philosophical.
It is, yeah. I agree. And I would say, I like to paraphrase an American author. I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not exactly sure. Someone I read in high school, but that author said, "No man is an island," and I like to paraphrase that and say, "No translator is an island," because that really, for many of us, that has been our experience of learning from colleagues, formally and informally, sharing tips and tricks, and where, back in my day when I was starting out, it was where the best dictionaries were, which
Right.
library had the science and technology room with the multilingual dictionaries that I could go to, or where I could consult a technical English dictionary without having to shell out $300 for it. Now, of course, it's very different. It's what website do we go to? But really, that's the message I think ATA is about, that no translator is an island. We're not in this alone. We're in this together. And we look forward to gathering as often as we can, whether it's virtually or whether it's in person. And yeah, so that's my philosophical bent. Maybe that's not as philosophical as what Andy shared, but that's my take
Oh
on
no,
the
but I'm
profession.
100%. I'm 100% with you, because
Yeah.
I always say the best thing the ATA has is the people,
Yeah.
and meeting your friends over and over through. I've been in the ATA 22 years, and this is going to be my 23rd. Like, really, it makes my heart full of sunshine, because it's so much fun and so good, and best thing ever. So we invite you to come to this conference online. We're going to be a lot of networking. We're going to be a lot of talking, and as you already know me, but also to invite you to the Miami conference and experience that hug in person.
Yeah. And I'll just close by saying, if you don't mind, I'll put a little plug in. You can, if you have any questions, you can feel free to look up Andy Benzo or Robert Sett in the ATA directory, or you can contact us at virtualconference@atanet.org. Again, virtualconference@atanet.org, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you have or forward your questions to the right person.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for joining me today and telling us all about this exciting event. I look forward to seeing you online in a couple of months.
Great. Thank you.
Okay,
We look
great,
forward
phenomenal.
to seeing you,
Thank
Andy.
you, Andy, for having us and for spreading the word too.
Yeah, and thanks for all the work you do with the podcast. It's great.
Thank you. All right, that's a wrap. We'd like to thank everyone who helped produce today's show.
Chris Silva recorded the announcements. Derek Platts mixed and edited the audio. Mary David and Teresa Kelly at ATA headquarters provided editorial and technical support.
If you learned anything new in today's podcast, I bet there's someone out there who would like to know it too. Don't be stingy. Tell them about the podcast. I've gotten to know so many great podcasts that way. I promise they'll thank you for it.
And if you're not an ATA member, listen up. I've been a member for over 20 years. Joining ATA literally launched my freelance career. It opened the door to a profession I knew very little about, and attending my first annual conference led to my very first freelance job.
And I joined for the first time in 2004 as a student. My first conference blew my mind. Nowadays, the demand for translators and interpreters is at an all-time high, but finding quality work isn't easy. ATA membership can make the difference. And ATA isn't just for translators and interpreters. We have teachers and professors, hospital administrators, language company owners, and technology developers, just to name a few. Companies and institutions can join too. Our membership includes language companies, universities, and government agencies.
If you'd like to know more, go to ATA's website, atanet.org. You can also check out past episodes of this podcast where we talk about the benefits of membership and what's currently happening in the association.
But before you go, please take a quick moment to give us a rating or write a review. Tell us what you like, why you listen, or about your favorite guest. Your feedback is super helpful, and reviews help other listeners find the show too.
We'd really appreciate hearing from you. Thanks again for listening, everyone. Talk to you again soon.